So let's look at some examples of finding cube roots. The first question is to find the cube root of 8, which is to say what number times itself 3 times, or what number to the third power equals 8. So let's go ahead and write that out. We're saying what number cubed equals 8. This is what we're asking. Now, if you go back to your powers chart, it might be helpful, because you should be able to look right at this powers chart and say, what number cubed equals 8? Well, 2 cubed equals 8. So I can come right back to this example and say 2 cubed equals 8, which means the cube root of 8 is 2. Now let's look at B. Cubed root of negative 64. Now if you remember back to example 1, when we took the square root of a negative, we said that's not a real number. But our reasoning for that is because if you multiply a positive and a positive, you get a negative, or at least you get a positive. If you multiply a negative and a negative, you also get a positive. There's no way to square a real number and get a negative. Let's see if that same reasoning applies for a cube root. What happens when we cube a negative? Well, the answer is actually negative. So it looks like we actually can take the cube root of a negative number. And so again, this question is then saying what number cubed equals negative 64? And we know this is going to end up being a negative number on the inside. And so really we need to say what number cubed equals 64, the positive version, and then we'll notice put a negative in front of it. And so we can again come back over here to our handy dandy chart. Since we're looking for something cubed, we know that all we got to look at is the cube column here. And we're trying to equal 64. And so we find 64 over here, and the number in question is 4. So if we come back over here, the number in question is 4. Negative 4 cubed would equal negative 64. And so that's our answer to this problem, is negative 4.